Hi friends, if you're new here, welcome. This video is going to be part 2 of recreating this outfit from this ancient Chinese painting. In my last video, I talked about how this painting is from 950, which is this period called the 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms, which was after the fall of the Tang dynasty and before the start of the Song dynasty. With a little bit more research, I've seen that this painting is referred to as both Tang and Song dynasty, so I don't exactly know when it was painted, but I'm pretty sure it was 10th century China. I'm starting off with a floor-length wrap skirt. This skirt has single direction pleats, which is what it looks like in the painting, and that also lines up with the other research that I've done about this period of clothing. The fabric I'm using here is a beautiful burgundy cotton lawn with a gold stripe. This fabric is inaccurate both to the painting because the color is off and clearly there are no stripes, but also to the period and to Chinese dress history in general. I've really never seen a striped fabric used in China up until the 20th century, and cotton wouldn't have been used yet to make Chinese clothing. The Tang dynasty was a golden age, but by the end of its 300 years, it was starting to crumble. The name 5 Dynasties and 10 Kingdoms comes from the 5 dynasties that came in quick succession in the north and the 10 kingdoms that ruled the south. When I started looking at this transitional period in Chinese history, I found that there was a lot more to it than just the fall of one dynasty, a 50-year period of chaos, and then another dynasty emerging. For the jacket, I'm going with a late Tang dynasty jacket made from this beautiful sage green linen. The jacket has long, narrow sleeves and is cut without a shoulder seam or arm side. Part of why this period looks so chaotic is because it was chaotic for aristocrats, because their places were being taken by people of lower stature. Anytime we read something in a history book or even watch something on the news, we have to think about the context in which we're getting this information. Many of these things are controlled by wealthy people, and therefore they are going to be controlling the narrative and telling the story at the least from their perspective, and at the most literally changing the truth to create a narrative that benefits them. Zhu Wen, the man who ended the Tang dynasty and formally started the 5 dynasties and 10 kingdoms period, was a serial rapist and was killed by his own son 5 years later. This kind of makes you wonder if any of the people who've ever tried to gain power throughout history have been doing it for the right reasons. But what even are the right reasons? This media bias coming from the people in power goes so much deeper than just raw information that we receive. The idea that humans are inherently competitive and will always fight for power and control is exactly one of those ideas, and it's been ingrained in everything from the way that we talk about history to the things that are taught in schools. These things are often hard to see and go so deep that we don't even realize the extent to which they shape our perspective. These things are so embedded in many different cultures. Just think about the school system. The concept of grading on a curve sends the message that the worst performing students are going to fail regardless, and therefore you need to be the best to succeed. Kids are taught that their value is based on their ability to succeed in that environment. And that creates willing participants in capitalism, who will work for the benefit of the rich under the false pretense that if they just worked hard enough, maybe they too could become rich. I think we all have a lot to learn from the indigenous people around the world, or I should say, the ones that we haven't already murdered through mass genocide. Indigenous cultures look primitive and unimpressive through the lens of a capitalist culture, but when you look at their history, many indigenous peoples have been living in relative peace and harmony for thousands of years before colonizers came along and tried to erase them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, comment, send it to all your friends. If you want to support me, I do have a Ko-fi link in the description box, and I will see you next time. Bye!